And we are recording. So I'm going to go straight to another problem like we did last time. In fact, while we're waiting on Miss Hatton to come in, I got that problem here somewhere. We just did it Friday. There it is. 2x. Okay, I think we did this one. Somebody confirm that for me. Is that the one we did Friday?
Yeah, that's the one we did.
Okay. That was the last one we did, so I'm going to try to step it up a notch. This is about a level 4 or 5 on a scale from 1 to 10, with the little ones being 1 and 2. This is about a 4 or 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, what happened? We lost somebody. Why did we lose someone? Not okay. Got her back. Was it Mr. Christian? Who did we lose there for a second? Okay, somebody went in and out. I don't know who it was, but anyway. Okay. So we did this one Friday, and we're going to do one like it. So we're going to add a little bit to it, maybe a couple of negatives. So let's go with -3 times x minus 6 plus 8 equals -4 times x plus 2 plus 3. All right, so let's do that one. I'm going to rewrite it. I don't like the way that's written. -3 x minus 6 plus 8 equals -4 times x plus 2 plus 3. So now instead of positives, there's Miss Hatton. She's coming all in late. We're going to distribute that negative. And remember, take our handy dandy highlighter. That negative is going to change everything. Miss Hatton, if you can't show up on time, then don't show up at all. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Coming in all late in my class.
Oh,
All
I had
right.
lots of points.
What?
I just got back from the doctor.
Okay. Well, get your priorities straight. Your health is second to this class. All right. So I'm just going to do one further. That's going to make that -3x and a positive, and that's going to make this a -4x and a -8. So -3x plus 18 plus 8 is equal to -4x minus 8 plus 3. Now, one of the reasons I'm being very, I don't know what you call it, about this, highlighting and writing in red, is because this is one of the things that I was hung up on when I was in algebra. When I was studying algebra to get to college algebra back in the day when I first started Tri-County, I could not figure out why that negative turned everything different, because it was never explained to me, or I didn't listen, one of the two. And it took me a while for my math instructor at that time to show me how to do this. And that's why, because that negative makes everything positive. I mean, the opposite side. And some of you may have had that same hang up, but that's one of my hang ups. Okay, negative 3x. You have $18. You have $8. You have what? $26? Negative 4x. You owe $8. You have $3. You still owe $5. Now, which one's the little bucket? The negative 4x or the negative 3x? Careful, it's a negative. Which one's the smallest bucket? That means I want y'all to interact with me. That means type something in or hit the little button with the microphone and you can talk.
Negative 3.
Negative 4x is your smallest bucket. Take it across the river, and that becomes x. Take that across the river, and x is equal to negative 31. What would you rather have in the bank, Mr. Brickman? Negative $400 or negative $300?
Negative 300.
So basically negative 400 is less. Okay, so negative 4 is your smallest bucket. You're going to move it over. If you always move the smallest bucket, you'll always end up with a positive variable. Jody's on the left side. He can't do that. It's okay for Jody to be on the left side of the seesaw. It's just illegal for Jody to be on the right side of the seesaw. All right, so that's about a level 4 or 5. Got two negatives, distribute the negative. So this one is 4. Wait a minute, that's not the, oh, sorry. This one is 4, and that one's about like a 5. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to a 6 or a 7. Here we go. Trying to find a color to write with. I want to write something different. Let's try this indigo blue. 1/2 x minus 3 plus 1/6 is equal to 1/3 times x minus 2. And of course, what should we do before we even start this one? Quit. Why should we quit? Come on, go ahead and say it. Why should we quit this problem?
Because it's got fractions in it.
And we don't know how to what? Read tape measure. So we just might as well just erase those fractions and put whole numbers there. That's what I used to do when I was a student. Y'all think I'm kidding. I'm not. I used to erase these. I used to rewrite the problem, and I'd put a 2 here and a 6 here and a 5 here. And of course, the teacher would mark it wrong. But that's what I used to do. College student, didn't even know how to do this. Clear the fraction by multiplying through by the common denominator. What is the common denominator of 2, 6, and 3?
6.
Good job. Now, of course, if you didn't know the common denominator, you would use your 3, what chapter were we in? I don't forget what chapter, 5. You would use 5.1. 5.1 to find your least common, your greatest common denominator. So I'm going to multiply by 6 over 1. I'm going to put a baby step in here because some of you may need it. Some of you may not. Some of you probably invented this problem. 6 divided by 1. 6 divided by 1. 6 divided by 1. And now I'm going to write down my equation. 1/2 x minus 3 plus 1/6 equals 1/3 times x minus 2. Now, of course, we're multiplying through by the common denominator. And what's that going to do? Well, 6 divided by 2 is what? 3. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So we're going to get 3 times x minus 3 plus 1 is equal to 2 times x minus 2. Now what do we have? Instead of a 6 or a 7, what do we have now? We have our regular 4 problem. So we've taken our difficult problem, 6 or 7, and we've changed it. We changed a 6 or 7 into a level 4, which is this right here. All right, now I'm going to let you finish it. You got to distribute. I'll go ahead and give you that much. Got to distribute. Corona, excuse me. Watched the PGA tournament this weekend. It was good. Anybody watch the PGA tournament? That was about the only thing worth watching on. I didn't watch any. I can't remember if I watched any movies this weekend or not. But I did watch the PGA tournament. And nobody cares. That's okay. Ms. Hatton, what did you do this weekend? Work?
Basketball tournament.
I hear you.
You have a work email.
All right, so that's going to be 3x minus 9 plus 1 equals 2x minus 4. Combine like terms before we do anything. 3x, you owe $9. You have $1. You still owe $8. Smallest bucket is 2x. Take it across the river. Take the 8 across the river. You owe $4. You have 8. You have 4. And you feel good about yourself. And I guarantee you there's somebody out there that either didn't listen or wasn't taught that whenever you have a fraction, you just multiply through by the common denominator. And I guarantee you there's somebody out there that didn't know that. There's always one in each group that says, I had no idea that you could clear the fraction. Well, what if I wanted to use the fraction? Well, besides being weird, you go ahead and use the fraction. That's just combining one problem onto another if you want to distribute a fraction. That's probably what Miss Hatton wanted to do. Right, Miss Hatton? You wanted to distribute that fraction, didn't you?
Yep.
Always take the difficult route, right? Let's try nerd. Negative 2/3 times x minus 6 minus 1/7 is equal to 1/3 times x minus 2 plus 2/7. Yeah, I'd quit on this one. Make that a negative. I'd go ahead and quit. There ain't no sense in trying it. Quitting's easy, right? Yeah, Hubert, quitting's easy. I don't want any part of it. I want to improve myself. Self-improvement is so overrated. Y'all didn't know that? Did I make y'all mad or something? Or y'all just don't want to talk to me? Or y'all have a bad weekend? Or
I think it's just being as slow because it's a Monday.
is that it?
Yep, you're right.
Well, y'all do know that they make coffee and Mountain Dew, don't you?
That's
I
true.
don't drink neither.
What did you say, Miss Hatton?
I don't drink neither.
Okay, well, you need to find something, Miss Hatton. This not talking, I don't like. Did anybody watch PGA this weekend?
It was on a little bit in
We don't have many golfers in the class, huh?
I mean, it's a cool sport. I just never really sat down to watch it in entirety.
I love watching golf. I almost love watching it as much as I like playing at it. Notice I didn't say play it. I said play at it. There's a difference. When somebody shoots good golf, they're playing it. When somebody plays at it, that's what I do. Take a whole sleeve of balls and end up with one when you get through. So I love to play golf. I think the only thing I love more than playing golf is probably fishing. And I don't get time to do either. Because of them damn Russians.
I'm not a big golf guy. I'm more of football and basketball. So.
Well, I would watch football and basketball, but I'm about to give up on both of them. I don't like being preached to by anybody. I barely can take preaching at the church, much less preaching from Hollywood and celebrities. I can't. This elitism, this I'm holier than thou, you do what I say, is just, I'm sorry. 21. So we're going to put 21 over 1, 21 over 1, 21 over 1, 21 over 1. Negative 2/3. And then x minus 6 minus 1/7 negative 1/3 plus 2/7. And you are multiplying. That's why I put the parentheses here. You can put it if you want to, but I had parentheses. And let's take our handy dandy red pen and see what we come up with. Well, 3 will go into 21 7 times. 7 will go into 21 3 times. 3 will go into 21 7 times. And 7 will go into 21 3 times. So all this mess up here basically gives us negative 7 times x minus 6 minus 3 is equal to, that's supposed to be a negative, negative 7 times x minus 2 plus what? 6? Y'all check me. All right, so this is going to be negative 7x plus 42 minus 3 is equal to negative 7x plus 14 plus 6. Now, some of you can already see what's going to happen here, but we're going to go ahead and finish it. Negative 7x, you have $42, and you pay off a debt of $3. You still have what? $39, Hubert. Thank you, class. Equals negative 7x plus 20. All right, which one's the smallest bucket? Well, it doesn't matter. They're both 7x's. So I'm going to move this one over here. And what happens? I need somebody to say it. I want you to verify that you see what I see. What happens to the 7x's?
Cancel.
They cancel. And that leaves 39 is equal to 20. And what's this called? Well, it's not equal. It's called a contradiction. A contradiction means that something is not equal to something else. And a contradiction with an equation means that it's not solvable. No solution or not solvable. No solutions. The opposite of a contradiction is called an identity. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you what that is. I'm going to write it on the next page. And I might have already told you this. And if I have, then this is just, I'm writing it in red. There's 3 types of answers you're going to get with an algebraic equation. 1, you're going to get y is equal to a number. And that is called a solution. The second type answer is going to be one like we got. 39 is equal to 20. And of course, it's not equal to. And this is called a contradiction. A contradiction means no solution. And then you'll get something like this. And that's called an identity. An identity means all real numbers, meaning that any number will work in the equation. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you 80% of the time, 80 to 90% of the time, your equation will have a solution. Okay? So if I give you 10 problems, 8 to 9 of them is going to have a solution. And I might throw in one of these just to see if you're paying attention. Okay, have I told y'all this before?
Yes.
Okay, the reason I asked that is I'm also teaching a Math 109, a Math 110, and a Math 111. These 2 are nothing but algebra, what we're going over right now. These 2, this one has a review in algebra. And I've been doing algebra, at least with these 2, and I did this first couple of weeks. And that's why I couldn't remember if I showed y'all this or not. Because including this chapter, this unit 2, algebra, that's 4 classes I'm teaching algebra in. So I'm bound to repeat myself or not, or skip something. So that's why if I show y'all something thinking that I showed y'all and I didn't, you let me know, because that's because I've taught it in another class. But anyway, look out for these. And standardized tests love to put these two on a standardized test, the ones that come out wrong. And if you've done something wrong, you need to check it. But if you've checked everything and you get a contradiction or a identity, then your answer is going to be those two. Sometimes no solution is written like this. It's written with a zero with a line through it. Okay, or it's no, or solution does not exist, or there would be some negative connotation to the solution. Either no solution, solution does not exist, or a zero with a line through it. Okay, now that was 8/9. So what's the 10? Well, 10, before we get to 10, let's do one more 8/9, only one you haven't done yet. What do you mean? Well, this one doesn't have fractions in it. This one has decimals. All right, now this problem has decimals. What do you do when you have decimals? Well, first thing is, and I'm going to put this in red or pink, so that means it's important. First thing is, look for the furthest, I hate when I do that, the furthest, and this is a Hubertism, decimal place. Look for the furthest decimal place. Now there's two decimals in this problem. Okay, I'm gonna highlight them just so y'all can zero in on them. I'm not highlighting them to insult your intelligence. I'm highlighting them because when you see a decimal in a equation, the first thing you should hone in on is how many decimals do we have? We've got two decimals. So the furthest place value in between the two decimals is the hundredths. So that means if it's a hundredth, I'm going to multiply by 100. If it's a tenth, I'm going to multiply everything by 10. If it's 1,000th, I'm going to multiply everything by 1,000. In this case, the furthest place value is the hundredth. So I'm going to take my pink pen, and since it's the hundredth, I'm going to multiply everything by 100. And this is real simple because all you got to do is move the decimal place. So that would be 1, 2, so that's going to be 12 times x minus 3 plus 1, 2, 14 is equal to 1, 2, 300x. And now you have a regular 3 or 4. Distribute to 12. It will be 12x minus 36 plus 14 is equal to 300x. Combine like terms here. This is the smallest bucket. It goes across the river. So you owe $36. You have $14. If you owe $36 and you have $14, you're going to owe some more money. And of course, we're going to owe what? $22? We still owe $22, right? And that 12x comes over here, and that's going to give us 288x divided by 288. Divide by 288. I think we can divide by 2. So that's going to be negative 11 over 144.
That's right.
And that's how you clear a fraction. We're going to do another one. And then we're going to do, if you can do the last one that we do today, if you can do it, then you can handle anything. All right? Let me check. I'm 12:10 before y'all start convulsing. All right, so let's do another one. This is one that's a little bit harder than this one, and the reason it's a little bit harder is because it has different decimal values. So let's do 0.01 times x minus 6 minus 0.12 is equal to 0.3 multiplied by x minus 6. Okay, what's different about this one? Well, I'm going to take my pink highlighter, or my, how many decimals do we have? Got 3. And you got to zero in on those 3. And we've got a tenth, a hundredth, and a tenth. So which place value is the furthest? The hundredth, furthest away. So that means you got to multiply through by 100, no matter what this guy says. This guy, he's at the kids' table. Anybody know what the kids' table is? Somebody explain to me where the kids' table is. Oh, come on. I've got, what, 9 people in here, and nobody knows what the kids' table is? I don't believe that. Somebody out there knows what the kids' table is. Miss Hatton, you don't know what the kids' table is?
That I don't know. I know you're not talking about an eating table, so I can't say I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
where's the kids' table? What is the kids' table? Why is there such a thing as a kids' table? When you go to a family Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter, or you have a big everybody's eating. Do the kids sit with the adults?
No.
Okay. Where do they sit?
They sit at the kids' table where the kids belong.
Exactly. So a kids' table means they don't rate. They don't rate sitting at the adult table. Okay? Why did I say that to the 10th right here? Because it's sitting at the kids' table. And where's my mouse? Right there. You got 2 adults right here. This is the kids' table. Y'all with me? In other words, that 10th, since you got 100th and 100th right here, they're at the adult table. This guy don't have much say in it. That's what you got to remember. Can't believe nobody knows what the kids' table is. It's your parents' fault. So y'all learned something today, right? Y'all learned about the kids' table.
Yes, we learned.
Okay, good.
I've heard of that before. Yeah, I just didn't know if you meant like
That's
she
fine.
did like.
It's hard. Sometimes I make some weird analogies.
It makes sense though.
But people say it makes sense after I make the analogy.
I get it.
Example. So that'll be 30 times x minus 6. Now you have a 4 or 5. So now I bet you can finish this problem. So go ahead and finish it. Give you a minute. Gotta hurry. We got to do one more. Now this one shouldn't be hard. If you miss this one right there, if you miss that one, you don't need to tell anybody. Okay, if you miss that distribution, if you miss that distribution right there, I'm not going to talk to you. Okay. So that'd be x minus 6 minus 12 is equal to 30x minus 180. Got to combine like terms here. You owe $6. You owe $12. That's my life. X minus 18 equals 30x minus 180. Which one's the smallest bucket, 1x or 30x? 1x, Hubert. Thank you, class. So it goes across the river. 180 goes across the river. And 180, negative 180, 118 minus 180 is what, 162? I have no idea. Y'all can check me. I get 162 over 29.
That's what I got.
Now, since you started with decimals, you got to end with decimals. So somebody give me to 2 decimal places the hundredths. What is 162 divided by 29? $162 divided by 29.
I got 5.58.
5.58 is your answer.
Oh, I'm sorry, 5.59 because you had to round it.
Now this one, you had the tenths, hundredths, and hundredths. The hundredths dictate because they're the furthest place value. This one doesn't have a choice in the matter because they're sitting at the kids' table. All right, if you can do this one, the next one I'm fixing to do, if you can do it, you're good to go for 6.2. 1/2 times x minus 2 minus 0.3 is equal to 5 times x minus 1, or x plus 1, minus 2. Now we have a fraction and a decimal. So I'm going to highlight the fraction and the decimal because I want you to see that this one would give you fits, especially if you don't like fractions or decimals. Which dictates? Well, they both work together. This needs to be multiplied by 10 because that's the 10th place. 10 is also divisible by 2. So most of the time when you're dealing with one of these problems, it's going to work out to be a number that will take care of the decimal and the fraction most of the time. So I've got to multiply everything by 10. So I'm going to multiply by 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, and 10 here. And I'm putting a baby step in for a reason because I want you to see what happens. So that's 1/2 x minus 2 minus 0.3 equals 5 times x plus 1 minus 2. And of course, 2 will go into 10 5 times. This will move this one place to the right. This will make 50, and this will make 20. So now rewrite the equation. 5 times x minus 2 minus 3 is equal to 50 times x plus 1 minus 20. And now you have a 4 or 5 problem instead of a 10 problem. Distribute. 5x minus 10 minus 3 is equal to 50x plus 50 minus 20. Combine like terms. 5x, you owe $10, you owe $3, you owe $13. You have 50, you owe 20, you have 30. Which one's the smallest bucket, 5x or 50x? 5x. Goes across the river. 30 goes across the river. Negative 43 is equal to 45x. So your final answer is negative 43 over 45. And you can reduce that or change it into a decimal, but that would probably depend on the directions of the problem. And if you can do these last 2 or 3 problems that we just did, then you have no problem with the 6.2 material on the test. They'll be easy compared to these. I need to wrap it up because some of y'all are going to spontaneously combust and go into convulsions. Okay, so I'm going to hit the recorder and hit the enrollment.